Yo, YouTube, what's going on? Greetings and salutations, it's your boy, Uncle Chish.
There he is, Uncle Chish, no hat doesn't need it.
Yo, sometimes you just gotta go lidless, but looking out to the west, looking out to the left, it is the best. He is out on these streets, both Omegle and sometimes on the regular streets, definitely out on YouTube and maybe sometimes on Westwood. He's the wizard. Give it up for Curtis, baby.
Curtis Magic, I'm everywhere, I'm in your mind.
Whoa, like omniscience or omnipresence?
Yep. Omni. You're
in an Omni. He has a
I'm an Omni. I'm an
Dodge Omni hatchback. And that takes him where he needs to go. Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you coming through and being a part of the family. Thank you so much for checking in. For those of you who have subscribed to videos, for those of you who are just stopping by for the first time, we appreciate you. Hit those likes, hit those thumbs up. That has been doing wonders for us. And we hope you will choose us as one of your forms of entertainment, because you are definitely that for us.
Please take us to the prom.
Take us to prom.
Please take us to the Zoom prom.
I've never been to prom.
Oh yeah? I think I went 4 times.
Awkward.
I think I went 4 times, not one am I like, that was worth it. That was worth,
so you were never crowned?
Oh no.
You never caught none of those homecoming?
No.
Listen, some of us have sadder stories than others, just what it is. But we appreciate you coming through, and we are excited to bring some content to you, because we have recently been diving into the world of NF. He is a hip hop artist of a tremendous. His name is Nate. I believe his first name is Nate. Of tremendous both content and cadence.
Real music.
Bars are genuinely fire. And we're excited to be a part of listening to him again. Madge, you brought us one today. It's called Clouds.
Yes, that's right. Clouds. I looked up NF and Clouds came up, and I was like, I like Clouds. Let's watch this one.
So this is the background that we generally look to.
That's the compass
we use. We saw it floating by, and we're like, let's jump on this. Cumulonimbus. And,
hey.
And Stratus.
Air Bear Stare.
Let's get into it, because I think people are done taking this. Listen to this, whatever this is. 1, 2, 3.
Clouds.
Ooh, there's an individual inside of the clouds. Unexpected.
Calmly feel myself evolving, appalling, so much I'm not divulging. Been stalling, I think I hear applauding. They're calling, mixtapes aren't my thing, but it's been awfully exhausting. Hanging on to songs as long as daunting, which caused me to have to make a call I thought was ballsy, resulting in what you see today. Proceed indulging, as always, the one-trick pony's here, so quit your sulking. Born efficient, got ambition, sort of vicious, yep, that's me. Not artistic, unrealistic, chauvinistic, not those things. Go the distance, so prolific, postal cryptic, move swiftly, unsubmissive, the king of mischief, the golden ticket, rare sight to see. I stay committed, embrace the rigid, I'm playful with it, yeah, basically. Too great to mimic, you hate your bitter, no favoritism, that's fine with me. Create the riddles, portrayed uncivil, unsafe a little, oh yes indeed, it's plain and simple, I'm far from brittle, unbreakable, you following? I'm Bruce Willis in a train wreck, I'm like trading in your car for a new jack. I'm like having a boss getting upset, cause you asked him for less on your paycheck. I'm like doing headstands with a broke neck. I'm like watching your kid take his first steps. I'm like saying Bill Gates couldn't pay rent cause it's too broke. Where am I going with this? Unbelievable, yes, inconceivable. See myself as fairly reasonable, but at times I can be stubborn, so if I have to, I will rock the boat. I don't tend to take the easy road, that's just not the way I like to roll. Shoot things probably unfeasible, I've done already a hundredfold. A hundredfold is probable that I might press the envelope. Ideas so astronomical, sometimes I find them comical. Yeah, incomparable. Tonys. I don't really got no trophies. I don't know why God chose me. Got something in the cup, ain't codeine. Changed my style, they told me. Now they come around like homie. Man, y'all better back up slowly. Back up slowly? Who are you kidding? How could you doubt me? I've always delivered. Ripping the teeth out of the back of my mouth. The closer you get to my wisdom. See, my initial thought was the way, but what can I say? I had to come visit. Check on you guys. You doing alright? You're yearly socked. Yeah, that's what I figured. They cover their heads up whenever I drop. Shake the whole industry, put them in shock. Come out the clouds like a meteor rock. Then land on the earth like ready or not. Ain't no one like me to cream me the crop. Don't even front, but they give me some props. I'll pick up your body and throw it a block. Okay, I admit it, that's over the top. Not there in the headlight looks. Every time I step my foot on the ground, I get mistook for a lame with no weight to his name. Ground just shook, let's not beat around the bush. Even my B-sides throw him off like how's he do it. Some say I'm a great influence, I don't know about that, but I did do the best I could. Hollywood, Hollywood, hope Nate doesn't go Hollywood. You think that you don't know me good? You think that you don't know me good? Hollywood, Hollywood, hope Nate doesn't go Hollywood. You think that you don't know me good? You think that you don't know me? I always advance, say how I fail, you know I stand. Raising the bar, I gotta expand. Top of the charts, I'm setting up camp. Pounding my stakes, I put on my tent. Shoot for the stars, they fall in my hand. Stick to my guns, I don't even flinch. Can push all you want, ain't moving an inch. I rarely miss, you know I'm relentless. Ain't got a choice, no way to prevent it. Just who I am, and I don't regret it. See what I want, then I go get it. Follow my gut, I'm happy I did it. Beat all the odds, I ain't got no limits. Can it be stopped? You paying attention? I ain't gotta say it. They know where my head is, they know where my head is.
Woo! Yeesh. Oh, you guys. Okay. Appreciate you guys out in the NF kingdom, NFers.
Yeah.
Crazy NFers out there rocking with Nate. And it's brilliant, man. First of all, Caden's fire.
Yeah.
Always so poetic, lyrical. I really appreciate the intensity style shifts because it'll go from sort of an explanatory kind of a da 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 da, and then he'll just start getting more intense depending. Yeah, it's brilliant. And man, talk to him about the visuals though. I mean, insane.
Yeah, what we're watching are like I'm only seeing this is only the second thing I've seen that he's done. It's definitely they're short films. They're not music videos. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The only thing I can think of, and I feel like this is my second Radiohead reference in a week probably, but the old Radiohead music videos from like I don't know, like before I don't know, like the Bends maybe or Pablo Honey. Yeah, but they were like they had like the song would be one thing and like visually, like a Karma Police be in a car and all of a sudden, it turns out, they're running, whoever's in the car is running some dude down and like, you don't know it, but it's telling a story that you don't get in the music, but it supplements the music.
Well, it's a huge part of why, like imagine I got into, we've talked about this quite often, probably ad nauseum, and people are sick of it. We both have a comedy improv background, but we both, spent time in LA. Matt is still in LA, and we love storytelling through film. We love storytelling through any medium that really incorporates an artistic component to it. And man, these are mind blowing. His videos are so, visually stunning and stimulating, and they give you so much depth to the story. And it is, I believe you're right, like there's this juxtaposition between maybe what he's saying and what he's doing and what you're seeing.
It makes it widens the overall story, right? So we're not just redundantly saying something visually that he's already saying lyrically, which is great. So now we're expanding the story and the overall kind of concept of it. Somebody said that you were right about like you mentioned Chris Nolan from the first one we reacted to, and apparently he loves Chris Nolan. Well, this had an Inception feel for sure. Like going in and out of places.
Absolutely felt like that at the end, especially.
Yeah,
had a Tenant feel coming out, that audio cue coming
even
out at the end.
Even the music that he's using is
specifically
like really
that reference of like the long that sort of stark, and that is a beautiful storytelling technique that allows you to see that there's, I mean, all Chris Nolan films have an action component to it and a story component, but it's speaking of something deeper usually. It's about time and your mind and how it's, how those things are cross-referenced.
And he helps you feel the tension between those sort of heavy hitting moments.
Correct.
That's part of the thing he does so well, and I feel that in these NF videos for sure. The scene that stood out to me, I'm not sure why, it's probably a Rorschach test of some sorts, but the one that stood out to me was the one where he's in the dining room and the mom grabs a knife and presumably the dad or whoever grabs the chair and chases him out. Right. It makes me wonder, like, now I'm wondering, like, what was his upbringing like, and does this speak to it in any way?
I can't imagine that these aren't some glimpses of. Now, we're not going to speculate that he was in a broken home, or that in that context it was like a dad,
no idea,
protecting the family and so on and so forth. What's interesting is, like, when you watch him hit the wall, you recognize that he seems to recognize that he's jumping from story to story. And when he, sort of like the first look in every scene is sort of an assessment of what's happening. And what was
Quantum
interesting
leap.
about that is he did look like, oh, wait, I didn't mean to scare you. I didn't mean to, punch a hole in this wall. You don't need to pull a knife. But at that point, what can you do? Right. Like he's already in a space. And that's a really interesting sort of on the very visceral visual level. But then to think about, what does that mean on a deeper level? Like, how is that assessment? And he, like, the next one is he runs out of the house and trips over the tricycle or bicycle and ends up in the pool hall, right? And what was interesting about those lines is that the verses, I don't rock no rollies, I don't hang with no phonies, I don't really got no trophies, and I don't know why God chose me. And then it was really interesting is I got something in a cup, ain't codeine. Change my style, they told me. Now they're around like homie. Man, y'all back up slowly. And I thought it was interesting. It was sort of like, I'm not somebody who comes out here in the traditional sense of like, hey, look at me, I've made it. And you were always telling me, hey man, you want to really, I mean, this is how I interpret it. If you really want to make it as an MC, you got to do this, that, and the other. And then all of a sudden he has all of this, he has a tremendous amount of influence and following and sort of stardom, if you will. And he's like, oh, and now everybody's coming out and telling me how great I am, even though you didn't like the way I did it to begin with. And I just think that that's like, to speak with that kind of candor, you know what I mean?
Like, the crazy thing about the content that people create these days is that you can be anywhere and everywhere, omni,
right?
And yet you don't get to speak for yourself. You don't have a rebuttal when people say, so your music is playing in the pool hall and somebody's like, oh, this, other blank in music is blah, blah, blah. You can't, that just gets spread around now, and everybody trashing you. You can't defend yourself. You can't clarify. I could see this being just his music playing everywhere, including on the highway. And
I was listening to a podcast today where the guys were talking about making a statement and having it misquoted next day in print. And it's like, yo, you took one sentence out of a paragraph, and now everyone's associating me with that sentence and not with the complete thought. And that's probably tremendously true about any artist who's out there putting their art in the world. And you're not looking at it from the perspective. Now I create art so that people can have any interpretation of it. But then when you decide, now you know me, I think that's where it sort of.
So all that to say, what we're putting out there right now is just first impressions based on the limited knowledge that we have, and that may or may not have value in the grand scheme of things. Only NF can speak for NF, and we certainly don't do that. But we can't do it any better than his
brilliant interpretation. Fantastic song. I can see why people are so so entrenched in his music because it's saying a lot out in the world, which isn't saying a lot these days, right? The world isn't, and he is, and that's brilliant. So a big thumbs up for me, and I imagine the same for Match. Listen, we appreciate you coming through. Appreciate you being a part of the fam and checking out our vids. Give us a little bit of a, what's your vocal conclusion here?
Don't want to sing too loud, but it's got me up in the clouds.
Boom. What else can you say? Appreciate you coming through. Hit the subscription if you're so inclined. Make sure you hit those thumbs up. We appreciate that. And we are leaving you with what we hope seems to continue, or we hope and praise does continue to permeate the world around us, and that is peace.
Yo, you know I'ma run this, kid. Shouts out to Curtis Magic and Uncle Jizz. Yeah, when I do my lyrics, dog, I'm reppin' for the faction. Hit them up online for the fly ass reactions. Yeah, out to him, I be giving mad love. Yo, shout to Uncle Jizz, I'ma give you the plug.